What is up, everybody? Nick Fiore, Fiore's Nation, right here on YouTube.com. I know haven't recorded a little bit with work, but anyways, enough of the shenanigans. I'm back. So Fiore's Nation back, and as you can see, I got a nice little webcam. Well, actually, no, you can't see it because it's hooked on my laptop, but new webcam. It's a 180, it's a C20's Pro HD webcam and all. So brand new webcam, love it. I think it looks nice. I got the microphone right here, new equipment. So blue Yeti or blue Snowball microphone, loving it. But back, man. And for months I haven't recorded because of the issue with the camera thing seeing my face, and then I finally got this webcam, and now you can see my face again, as you can see. And for months I haven't been doing this videos on Furious Nation on YouTube because of the camera stuff issue, but now it's resolved. I'm thinking about doing videos on Furious Nation once again, and hopefully that should be soon. And all. But anyways, enough rambling on. This is Furious Nation right here on YouTube. I'm Nick Fiore, the creator and founder of Furious Nation on YouTube.com. And with this video, as you see in the title, it is the mock draft for the 2021 WWE draft, which is taking place. It's a 2-night draft tomorrow on Smackdown, on Friday night on Fox. The night one of the draft taking place in Baltimore, Maryland, I believe. And then the second night of the draft, this Monday night on Raw on the USA Network, and I believe in Memphis, Tennessee. That's night 2 of the draft. The draft is back, reshuffling rosters once again. And as you can see, Cameron Johnson of the Cine Podcast once again, right here on the Furious Nation channel. We're going to mock draft here with this very video. We're going to mock draft rosters and such. And Cameron, great to have you once again. Your thoughts on this mock draft, and great to have you once again on the channel.
I appreciate you having me on the channel, Nick. I just want to say I like that Tony Storm shirt you're rocking. I like that Tony Storm shirt you're rocking right there, man. That is an absolutely good shirt.
Man.
But that's cool. That's real cool. That's real cool.
Tony Storm,
but I like
my favorites, but
it's
when she was in NXT UK.
Yeah. I can see that. So I just wanted to say, very nice shirt you got on there. But also, the WWE draft coming up. The WWE draft is something that is needed for a lot of these superstars' career, for a lot of these superstars' careers. Not only that, but I'm tired of seeing match after match after match after match after match with the same people. So having people change shows, get a fresh change of scenery, get some fresh feuds, is always a good thing. I don't know why the draft is done in October. I think October is a terrible time to do a draft, unless this is something that the network just wants them to do, and they want them to do the draft in October. If that's the case, then I guess WWE don't really have much say. But I don't know why they do a draft in October. I don't know why they don't do it the night. I don't know why they don't do it after WrestleMania, as they usually should. As they should. But But the WWE draft is coming up, and I'm ready, man, because I got a lot of names moving here that I think could really benefit from a move.
Yeah, and I agree with what you just said about the draft. It should take place in April. In the past, like 2009, 2010, 2011, even in the April, those years, even April of 2017, 2018, 2019, they'd have like the draft / the shakeup / the superstar shakeup, which they used to do from 2017 to 2019. Like in March, April, you have WrestleMania. Then it makes sense for right after Mania to have the draft, because after Mania it's like a reset in season and all. It's like right after Mania, like a week or the first or second week right after Mania, man. You have the draft. Usually have the draft.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way. That's the way it should be, theoretically, instead of them doing it this way. But anyway, a funny story
6 months
about
after Mania, I
the
feel like it's too long.
it is. Anyway, funny story about the 2011 WWE draft. I was at that show. That was my very first ever WWE live. That was my very first
At that
ever
show?
WWE live event. So
That was the same night Cena got drafted to SmackDown, then later that night got drafted to Raw, which I didn't like at all. That was stupid.
that was stupid. As a kid, I enjoyed
They
it.
kind of killed the draft and the brand
stupid.
split at the time.
Yeah.
Because you draft him to SmackDown, then draft the Raw. Like, what was even the point? It just ruined the entire draft that night, in my honest and brutal opinion. Just so stupid when they did that, man, back in 2011. But that was like 10 years ago and such. But yeah, that's my opinion on all of that. A memorable draft moment for all the wrong reasons.
Yep.
But hey, at least we got Orton to SmackDown at the time, and who else? Rey Mysterio to Raw and such. They got the supplemental draft in 2011 that year. The very next day, I think Sheamus, then U.S. champ, went to SmackDown. Daniel Bryan to SmackDown. Kofi Kingston to Raw. And all this other stuff and all. But anyways, but yeah, I think like you also said, Cameron, a lot of people need a change. A lot of people need a new change of scenery. I'm with you on that 1,000%, Cameron. Especially a lot of Raw guys. Especially a lot of Raw guys need a lot. Especially a lot of the Raw guys need a new landscape, new fresh change of scenery. But we're gonna go over that shortly here in this video right here. But before we get started, I want to make a couple mentions. Number one, I know Adam Carl, usually my buddy for the Raw reviews. He was supposed to be here today for the mock draft, but unfortunately, he's got some school sessions going on today. So unfortunately, he can't make it. Though I know he'll still be watching this video and all. So I thought I'd say that. Number two, I know some people, before we get started, I know some people will say, and the brand split. Like, look at the foolish releases they did. There's not a whole lot of people. If you had a lot of people, then I'd say a draft is okay. But they released a lot of people this year. Some of them foolishly and head scratching, like Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, Buddy Murphy, Bronson Reed, those ones, Samoa Joe before they brought him back, Mickey James, Peyton Royce, all these other ones, you know? So I know some people say end the brand split and all, but I would say yes, because there's not a whole lot of people. Though I would say at the same, though I'd say at the same time, don't end it, but only end it for the women and the tag teams. I would say yes, end the brand split, but at the same time, don't. Because you can still have a brand split, but just don't have a brand split for the tag teams and the women's, for the tag team division and the women's division. Because look at the tag teams they have. There's not a whole lot of tag teams, especially on the Raw side. There's no tag teams on Raw. The women, there's not a lot of good women right now who can wrestle, especially the Raw side. But your thoughts on that real quick, Cameron, before we get started.
I'm gonna agree with you. Me personally, I was just in the whole brand split. I'm tired of WWE not really respecting the brands. I'm tired of WWE not really respecting the brand split and everything. And to be honest with you, I would just like to see them end it. I'd like to just see them in the brand split and go back to the way things were pre-brand split, where you have one world title, the U.S. title, the IC title, the women's title, and and the tag team titles. That's about it. I think they need to get rid of all these titles. The tag division, they don't have they don't have a tag team division. They don't have a tag team division. They just don't. And it's sad to see, but they don't have a tag team division.
Tag teams on Raw. Most of it's makeshift teams.
Yeah, exactly. We're stuck in we get stuck in the same position each year, which we get stuck in the same position each year, which is Raw only has about like 3 tag teams, and SmackDown only has about 2 tag teams. You can't build the tag team division that way. But if you were to merge them or let the champions, but if you were to merge them or let them be, but if you were to merge them or let them be traveling champions where they go on both shows, then I think you got some better options there. But you're not going to get some better options there. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Merge the women's division and merge the tag team division.
Yeah, I mean, I would say end the brand split, but at the same time, don't. But if you want to end the brand split, just do it only for the women in the tag teams. Because I think, honestly, if you have the tag team champions float, and if you have the women's champion float, I think it'd be a whole lot better than what it is right now, in my honest opinion. Just based on the fact that there's no tag teams on both shows, especially the Raw side. And mostly on the Raw tag division is makeshift teams like AJ Styles and Omos when AJ should be on his own. RK Bro. I mean, even with RK Bro, they're not a long-term tag team for the long term. They're not. Even though RK Bro's the Raw tag team champions currently. Gender with Veer and Shanky, that's not a tag team.
Yeah.
That's not a tag team. Lucha House Party, they're probably getting released. Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado both recently, it's been reported by Ringside News recently that both Metalik and Dorado have both asked for their release, so they'll probably get released soon. And Lucha House Party hasn't really done anything as of late. So there's no tag teams on both brands, especially on the Raw side. There's like a couple tag teams on SmackDown, maybe 4 or 5. You have Usos, you have Alpha Academy, you got the Street Profits, you got Usos. Who else do you got on them? The Mysterios and Rude and Ziggler, but that's really about it. Raw, there's none. For the women, there's not a whole lot of good women who can wrestle right now. The Raw division is just terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, the Raw Women's division, you have Charlotte.
And this is not us being sexist, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course not. You have Charlotte. You have Asuka, who is dealing with some kind of injury, so take her out for a minute. You have Alexa Bliss, who, if rumors are to be believed, it's being reported that she's about to take some time off, so scratch her out.
Eva Marie is terrible.
Yeah, you're stuck with Charlotte, Shayna. Nia Jax got taken out of action on television.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's kayfabe or legit, so take Nia out. You're left with Charlotte, Doudrop, and Shayna Baszler.
Doudrop? Oh?
Sorry. I'm sorry. You're left with Charlotte, Shayna, and Piper Niven.
That's 3 women. That's not a division.
Oh, Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross too, but they're the women's tag team champions.
Yeah. So it's like at least 3 women, though. Nikki Cross has the terrible superhero gimmick. Rhea Ripley's been trash on Raw. So it's like a couple women. That's not a division.
It's not.
You can't sit there and say 3. You can't sit there and say, hey, man, 3 women's a division. You just can't say that. But that's our overall thoughts on all the stuff we just mentioned moments ago. But we're going to get started here with the mock draft here on the channel. Before we get started, I'd like you to hit the like on the video if you haven't done so already. It'd be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to Furious Nation as well. And also turn on the bell for all notifications so you're notified when videos are uploaded from the channel onto YouTube, so you're notified whenever videos are coming from Furious Nation. So hit the bell for all notifications, subscribe to Furious Nation YouTube channel, and hit the like button as well. I would greatly appreciate all of you guys. And follow me on Twitter at FioryNick579. Follow me on Twitter at FioryNick579. Follow me on Instagram at Nicholas Fiore 2014 over on my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, and you can follow me on Facebook if you like at Nicholas_Fiore_31 over on my Facebook page. You can add me as a friend on Facebook if you want. Cameron, my friend, where can we follow you as far as social media goes?
Follow me on Twitter at Cam71101.
And also the Cine podcast. Make sure you check them out with Cameron Johnson and Escobar. Really good dudes, really good guys talking about wrestling and such. Really good stuff over there on the Cine podcast. I'd highly recommend checking them out as well on their YouTube channel as well. Highly recommend checking them both out. I would highly recommend giving them a good listen. Both Cameron and Escobar, really good guys and with wrestling and just really good stuff over there on the Cine podcast. Highly recommend checking both guys out. And we shall get started with the mock draft here on Furious Nation, right here on YouTube.com. So as you can see, we have the names for this mock draft right over here. We got the main roster names from Raw and from SmackDown, and we got some NXT call-ups as well. We got about at least six that I put together with names for this mock draft. So what we're going to do here, because we're going to do over the past couple, with the draft over the past couple years, they've done with the draft formula, 3 picks for Raw, 2 picks for SmackDown, because Raw's 3 hours and SmackDown's 2 hours. We can do that same formula right here in this mock draft video. So let's begin. So we're going to start off first with this first row on your left right here. And so we'll get started on the first side. So usually with the draft the past couple years, Raw gets the first pick and all, first round. So let's get started. So Cameron, are you ready to mock draft?
I'm ready.
All right. So we got right here. So usually how we're going to do this, we're going to go by this list here. So go 5 by 5 about. So Drew McIntyre, where would he go?
I would draft Drew McIntyre over to SmackDown.
Yeah, I know they teased on Raw this past Monday night after Big E beat Bobby Lashley in the steel cage match to retain the WWE title, which was a very good match, by the way. Afterwards, that Drew McIntyre came out, his music hit, and he confronted Big E on the stage when Drew was on the stage and Big E was still in the ring. I would assume now, regardless of that, I do think Drew McIntyre to SmackDown. I do still think they do that, despite what happened on Raw Monday night. I think what they may do next week on Raw, the night 2 of the draft, they do Drew and Big E on Raw for the title. Big E goes over huge before Drew officially is a part of SmackDown. So regardless of what happened at the end of Raw this past Monday night, Drew to SmackDown, I still think is what they do regardless. So I know some people say, oh, Drew confronted Big E this past Monday on Raw. That means Drew's definitely staying on Raw. Him to SmackDown is out the window. I don't think that's the case.
I'm in agreement with you. I don't think that. I'm in agreement with you. If anybody needs to change the scenery, it's Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has done everything there is.
Champ on the top of the world on Raw. He carried Raw through the pandemic in 2020.
Exactly. It's like he's done everything there is to do on Raw. And Roman Reigns needs challengers. He needs baby faces to run through. So I think getting Drew McIntyre on SmackDown and going into Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns, whether they jump right into it or they wait to jump into it, I think is the best option for them to do. But Drew McIntyre desperately needs to change the scenery, and I will move Drew McIntyre over to SmackDown.
I'm with that 1,000% on you, Cameron. And also Drew on SmackDown, man. And not only the match with Roman, they had remember Survivor Series in 2020 when Drew was on Raw as WWE champ? That Drew versus Roman Survivor Series 2020 match was very good, and I would not mind seeing that again. You could do that at Mania or the Rumble. Like, I know Roman should really get The Rock at Mania next year or in 2023, but if they can't get The Rock in 2022 in Dallas for Mania 38 next year, then I would say Roman and Drew would probably be one of the good options to go with if they can't get Dwayne Johnson next year. And I know Cameron said that before in the past, and I agree with him. Or you could do the match at Mania next year. You could do it at the Rumble next year. You know, and it's two of the top guys in the company right now. And such. So, and like I said, Drew was on Raw as the WWE champ. He beat Brock Lesnar for the title at Mania 36. And when the pandemic started, there was no fans, though, unfortunately. And Drew carried Raw in 2020 throughout the pandemic. He legit carried Raw on his back in the year of 2020. And like you said, Cameron, and I agree with you, he's literally done everything on Raw. What else do you do with Drew on Raw? What else do you do with him? He's done everything there is to do on Raw. He is definitely one of the guys that need to change the scenery. So Drew, right over to SmackDown. And can you imagine a SmackDown feud with a heel McIntyre and a face Finn Balor?
I like that a lot. That sounds good.
You know, you move McIntyre to SmackDown. You can turn him heel. You can feud him with Finn Balor or Rey Mysterio or Edge. Drew versus Edge, I don't think it's been done for a feud before. I'd like to see it, whether it's on Raw or SmackDown. I do it on SmackDown. So Drew right over to SmackDown. Absolutely no questions asked, and absolutely no-brainer. Roman Reigns, speaking of a no-brainer, Roman Reigns, I think we know where he's going.
I just want to say, man, I have no idea why WWE insists on making the champions part of the draft. Part of the draft, the champions should really be excluded from the draft. Universal and WWE, you want to do that, that's fine. But with the women's and the tag teams, why in the hell am I going to draft somebody that has Raw Women's Champion in her name? She's the Raw Women's Champion. Why is she going to another show? They're the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Why are they going to another show? I hate when they do that shit, man. And the thing they did with New Day and Street Profits last year, where they drafted them and just have them swap tag team titles, that
was so bad.
That was just bad.
That was like trading recipes.
Yes. Champions should not be a part of the draft. The only exceptions should be the World Champ and the IC and US Champ. That's it.
Yeah. And even the World Championship one, like the WWE title is no color thing. The WWE title, the Universal title is a blue title, which is synonymous with SmackDown. And Roman Reigns is obviously the current Universal Champion. And he's holding a blue title. Why would he go to Raw? It makes no sense.
Exactly.
And Roman's not losing that title anytime soon, and he shouldn't.
Nope.
So this is a no-brainer. Roman Reigns, where is he going? Right over to SmackDown on Fox, where he should be and where he belongs. And if Roman goes to Raw, Fox is not going to be so happy at all. So the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Universal Champion Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman, Roman is staying right on SmackDown where he should be, which makes sense. Sasha Banks.
I would keep Sasha Banks on SmackDown.
Yeah, and after Extreme Rules, I know Raw Women's Division needs all the help they can get. I get that. But after Extreme Rules last Sunday, when Sasha came back and attacked Becky and Bianca this past Sunday at Extreme Rules, I think that was an indication, in my opinion, of where Sasha stands in the draft. Same thing with Becky and Bianca. I don't think either of the three moved to Raw, in my opinion, in the draft. I think Becky, Bianca, and Sasha all stay right on SmackDown.
I agree. I agree. I agree. When we get to Bianca, though, I'm gonna get to her because but I agree. But when we get to Bianca, I'm gonna get to her because if I was booking this draft, Bianca Belair would be moving to Raw. But yeah,
Sasha right over to SmackDown after what happened last Sunday at Extreme Rules. And I'd rather Sasha be SmackDown than drown on Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. Now, as you can see, no picks for Raw yet. I know this is on the fly, but 3 picks Raw, 2 picks SmackDown, but we'll reshuffle rosters as we go through these names. But anyway, so SmackDown, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Sasha Banks for SmackDown. Raw, no picks yet. Dana Brooke, I would not even draft this one. This is a waste.
I would put Dana Brooke on Raw. That's what I would do.
Yeah, though in reality, I would put Dana Brooke on the unemployment line. Dana Brooke is terrible. But Dana Brooke, I would not even draft this one whatsoever. It's a waste. So Dana Brooke right over to Raw. Bayley. Longest combined reigning SmackDown Women's Champion in history. I know she's out injured right now, but where would she go? Well, she has done everything there is to do on SmackDown. And I know there's some good women on SmackDown like Toni Storm, Tegan Nox, Shotzi Black are good women on SmackDown for Bayley to work with on SmackDown. But realistically, where should she go? SmackDown?
I think realistically she should go to Raw.
Yeah, she's done. I prefer her more on SmackDown than Raw. And when she was on Raw as a babyface, she did nothing and all. Remember that with the Bayley, Alexa Bliss, "This Is Your Life" segment in 2017, which was not a good segment. But then on SmackDown, they turned her heel. She was the longest combined reigning SmackDown Women's Champ in history, and I think she was better on SmackDown than she was on Raw. But Bayley has done everything on SmackDown. She held that SmackDown Women's title for a very long time and all. The golden role models of Sasha and Bayley when they were women's tag team champions in the summer of 2020 was some good stuff. Yeah, but Bayley has done everything there is to do on SmackDown. So Bayley, I would probably put her on Monday Night Raw, and Raw Women's Division needs all the help they can get. And also Bayley, I'd put her on Raw. As much as I don't want to do it, I'd put Bayley on Raw. Drew Gulak. 24/7 title thing, Drew Gulak, the same one who signed a 5-year contract last year. Remember that?
She's happy then, yeah. Put Drew Gulak on SmackDown.
On SmackDown? Interesting. I mean, he's a submission specialist, but I don't know. I doubt he would do anything over there, but so I have to ask why. Cameron?
Yeah.
Oh, you're still there. Oh, I thought something happened to you, but you're still there. Drew Gulak to SmackDown. Why? Okay. All right, we'll not do that. So Drew Gulak to SmackDown. Okay. We'll try that at first, and we'll reshuffle after we get through the names. But Drew Gulak to SmackDown. Nia Jax. Raw.
Can we draft her to unemployment?
Yeah. Yeah, Nia Jax, I would draft to unemployment too. Nia Jax sucks, so Raw. Oh, there we go. All right. Now I said minutes ago in this video, there'd be at least 6 NXT call-ups with this mock draft. One of them is Frankie Monet, who's currently engaged to John Morrison. Now, where would Frankie Monet go? Well, WWE doesn't like breaking up couples, so I put her on the same brand as John Morrison. So Frankie Monet, I'd say Raw Women's Division needs all the help they can get. So Frankie Monet, I would say put her on Monday Night Raw. What do you think?
I would put Frankie Monet on SmackDown. Only reason being, I would move John Morrison to SmackDown. And WWE usually tends to keep the couple. WWE, they usually tend to keep the real life couples together. They usually tend to keep the real life couples together. So I would move John Morrison over to SmackDown, and because of that, I would move Frankie Monet over to SmackDown, and I would put the two of them together on television.
Yeah, and Frankie Monet, she came to NXT earlier this year. Frankie Monet, I don't think she really needs NXT at this point. I don't know what you think on that.
Not really.
Yeah,
she doesn't really need NXT, yeah.
I mean, she's been okay there. She's been fine there. She hasn't been terrible there, but she's not been terrible there whatsoever. But I feel like she's more beneficial on Raw or SmackDown, wherever her husband John Morrison ends up in the draft. And I would say Miz and Morrison split them up. And now that they're broken up, no reason for both of them to be on the same show. So Morrison is definitely one of the picks I'm with SmackDown, but we'll get to that in a while with this video. But Frankie Monet to SmackDown. That's what we will do here. And Monet also lost to Raquel Gonzalez in an NXT Women's Title match this past Tuesday on NXT, and Monet lost clean. So that may be a send-off. So Frankie Monet, right over to SmackDown. Right over to SmackDown for Frankie Monet. The next pick, the Street Profits of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Now, I would not split them up. I would definitely not split them up. Now, Street Profits, where do they fit best? Do you keep them on SmackDown or do you move them over to Monday Night Raw?
I would move them over to Raw because I'm moving Bianca Belair over to Raw. So,
yeah. I mean, I know they teased Bianca, Becky, and Sasha at Extreme Rules last Sunday. They may do a triple threat for the SmackDown Women's title, which I would have no problem with whatsoever. But I don't know. I don't know if Bianca even sticks on SmackDown with the draft. I don't know. They may very well move her to Raw. They may. They may even do the SmackDown Women's title triple threat this Friday tomorrow on SmackDown. They may do. So, and like I said, we'll reshuffle some names when we go through all these names and such and review the names of both rosters. But Street Profits, we will put them on Monday Night Raw. So we will do that. Usos. Like you said, Cameron, the champion should not be draftable except if you're the US or IC champion and maybe a world champion. But the tag team champions for both shows, women's champs for both shows, Usos are holding blue titles. Why would they go to Raw? So Usos
they're holding blue titles and they're with the Tribal Chief. The Tribal Chief ain't moving, so the Usos ain't moving.
And wherever Roman goes, Usos follow. Because they're the bloodline. They're the bloodline. So Roman stays on SmackDown along with the Usos. So the entire bloodline stays right on Friday night SmackDown on Fox. The Miz. I'd say Raw. The Miz, I would definitely say Monday Night Raw because Miz is a USA Network guy. Fox and USA Network are rival companies. So the Miz, I'd say move him or keep him, not move him, keep him on Monday Night Raw. Your thoughts on that, Cameron?
I agree. Keep Miz on Raw.
Yeah. Apollo Crews with Commander Aziz.
I would move Apollo Crews to Raw.
Yeah. I was just going to say the same thing. Apollo Crews, a former IC champ over on SmackDown, held it for a few months, then dropped it to Shinsuke Nakamura. Hasn't done much since losing to Nakamura. But IC title or King Nakamura with Rick Boogs, but Apollo Crews, Commander Aziz, I could picture them going to Raw. And if Damien Priest, US champ, I don't think he switches brands. And I think the US title stays on Raw and the IC title stays on SmackDown. I think that's what they may do here with the draft this year. If Apollo Crews with Commander Aziz goes to Raw, imagine a Raw program over the US title with Crews and Priest.
I like that. I like that
and
a lot.
Apollo Crews has that Nigerian kind of gimmick thing. I know like an anti-American gimmick wrestler with the US title. I know it's been done so many times with Rusev and all, and Cesaro in the past. I know it's been done so many times over and over again in the past, but it's a heat magnet and it works and it makes sense and it would, and and someone with an anti-American gimmick like character would get them over and it would give them the proper heel heat for the right reasons. It did it with Cesaro in the past. It did it with Rusev, especially in the end of 2014. That was great.
Yeah.
Rusev, but I mean, I know it's been done so many times, but it's a heat magnet. So Crews right over to Raw with Commander Aziz. I could picture Crews and Priest feuding on Raw over the United States title. And Priest should be done with Sheamus too. So why not move Crews over to Raw and feud him with Priest on Raw over the United States title? So Apollo Crews with Commander Aziz right over to Monday Night Raw. I can picture them going there definitely in the draft this year. Sami Zayn.
I would move Sami Zayn. I would keep Sami Zayn on SmackDown. I would keep Sami Zayn on SmackDown. I would keep Sami Zayn on SmackDown.
You,
To be honest with you,
you think
to be
Sammy
honest with you,
should be on separate shows or the same show?
I think they need to be on separate shows right now. We've seen them on. They've been on every show together since like the start of the brand split. I think you got to, I think you need to separate them for a little while. Separate Sammy and KO for a little while, but I would keep Sami Zayn on SmackDown.
All right. And he was one of the good things, and he was one of the good things of SmackDown before. And he's back now, and because of Roman Reigns, it was a report on Ringside News a while ago that Roman wants more Sammy on SmackDown. So Roman the tribal chief demands something, he gets. So glad Sammy's back on television on SmackDown, and I'd rather him be SmackDown than Raw. So Sami Zayn, I mean, I was picturing him going to Raw. I could probably see him going to Raw in the draft this year, but I'm with you, Cameron. I'd rather Sammy be SmackDown than drown on Raw, in my opinion. So Sami Zayn staying right on SmackDown. Big E, no brainer, Monday Night Raw.
Raw.
Absolutely no questions asked. Like you said, Cameron's champion should not be draftable, except if you're maybe a world champion, the US and IC champ. Those are the only titles that I would say are draftable. But if you're not any of those championships, then why should they be in the draft? Especially the Raw and SmackDown women's titles or the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles. So, Big E, WWE champion, right over to Raw. Mia Yim. Again, WWE doesn't like breaking up couples, so she should be in the same brand as Keith Lee. Mia Yim, where would she go? So SmackDown has SmackDown has Frankie Monet. Raw has Dana Brooke and Bailey Nia Jax.
We're gonna get back to Raw. We're gonna help Rod, I promise. But I would move Mia Yim to SmackDown because I would move Keith Lee to SmackDown.
Not Bearcat Keith Lee. Keith Lee, by the way, not Bearcat Keith Lee.
Well, I take that back actually. With Keith Lee about to get ready to get a run as a heel, it looks like I would keep Keith Lee on Raw. Big E's gonna need challengers. Keith Lee could be somebody who potentially beats Big E for the title. So I would keep Keith Lee on Raw. Scratch that. I would keep Keith Lee on Raw, and I would keep Mia Yim on Raw.
Really? Even despite Big E, Keith Lee to SmackDown, possibly feuding with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, because I think Keith Lee's going heel, and so I think Keith Lee's going heel, right? Like it's been reported he's going heel. He's wrestling a lot more aggressively. You look at his tweets. It's like bask in my glory, not bask in his glory or something like that. So it looks like he's going heel. I would like to see a Keith Lee heel turn just to see how it plays out. And I want Keith Lee to get all the opportunity as a heel to succeed. Plus, I think you need challengers for Big E, and I think Keith Lee could potentially be a challenger for Big E, even if it's just like a one-off. So I'll keep Keith Lee on Raw.
Yeah, I mean, Keith Lee is a heel. I'm not sure how it's gonna fare out, but the Bearcat name I would not have, in my opinion, and that changes attire to his NXT attire, but that's just me. He even sounded heelish was Keith Lee on Raw Talk. I know a lot of you don't watch Raw Talk. I don't watch a lot of Raw Talk, but I did see a little bit of Raw Talk right after Raw this past Monday night. Keith Lee was interviewed, I believe, by who was it? Sean Patrick.
Yeah.
He was interviewed by Sean Patrick on Raw Talk right after Raw this past Monday night was Keith Lee. He did sound heelish in there after watching it. So Keith Lee is a heel, may very well be. So Keith Lee before we get to Keith Lee, but we'll get to him. But Mia Yim, his wife, to Raw. Naomi, SmackDown, because she's married to Jimmy Uso. So Naomi's going right to SmackDown. And eventually turn her heel on SmackDown and put her with the Bloodline. So Naomi right to SmackDown. Shotzi Blackheart. Where is she going? Does she fit on SmackDown, or do you put her on Monday Night Raw? I mean, Raw, you got Mia Yim, you got Nia Jax, Bailey, Dana Brooke for the Raw for Raw for the women. SmackDown, you got Naomi, you got Frankie Monet, and you got Sasha Banks. So where would she fit best? I would say
Probably.
SmackDown.
Yeah, probably SmackDown.
Yeah, I would say SmackDown too. So Shotzi Blackheart. I mean, Shotzi and Tegan, I could probably see them going to Raw. Probably. I hope not, but I would say Shotzi to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Shotzi to SmackDown. Sonya Deville.
I would keep Sonya Deville on Smack. I'll move Sonya Deville to Raw.
Really? I know she's feuding with Naomi though, but I don't know. I mean, do you keep her on SmackDown because it looks like she's going to be feuding with Naomi soon. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you keep her on SmackDown or do you move her to Monday Night Raw? It's a tough one.
I'll move her to Raw.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know if they do the match this Friday on SmackDown. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, we'll reshuffle names to when we go through these names and review the rosters. But for now, Sonya to Monday Night Raw. The War Raiders, I'd say SmackDown. They also need a change of scenery, just like Drew McIntyre.
I agree. Put them on SmackDown.
Imagine War Raiders versus Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and as you see, the War Raiders are not the Viking Raiders. I don't know who Ivar and Eric are. They're the War Raiders to me. Just to let you guys know, but War Raiders, just like Drew McIntyre, they need a change of scenery bad more than anybody. So War Raiders are going right over to SmackDown. R-Truth. I think he's staying on Raw.
Yeah, keep R-Truth on Raw.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. Because of the 24/7 title crap on Raw, I think he's staying right on Monday Night Raw. Alexa Bliss. I think Raw.
I agree. I would keep her on Raw.
Absolutely agree on that statement. So let's see here. So Alexa Bliss, moving her over to Monday Night Raw. Right in here. Lacey Evans. I would not even draft her. I would not even draft Lacey Evans. I'd say Raw.
Raw.
Yeah. Dominic and Rey Mysterio. Now, this is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. I wonder if do you keep them on SmackDown Fox? I mean, or do you put them on Raw? I think they get lost in the shuffle on Raw. I don't know. I don't know where you put them. This is tough.
If the plan is to split them up, I would move Rey Mysterio to Raw and I would keep Dominic on SmackDown.
I don't know. I mean, do you split them up? If they're breaking them up, I don't know if they're going to break them up as a tag team, but are they going to feud them? Do you separate them in the draft? I would keep them together, honestly, right now before the breakup. But I mean, I'd have them on the same show before the split and turn in the feud. I don't know. I mean, what do you do? Like, Dominic Mysterio, I don't know I don't know how well he's gonna do on his own. Probably not so well on his own. They're probably better together than they are separate for the time being. So I don't know. Do you split them up via this block draft or do you keep them together?
I think they get split up and I would move them. I would split them.
Yeah. I don't know because they need tag teams.
They do need tag
that's another
teams.
thing. So I don't know. I don't know. Probably they could split them up, but if they keep them together, where do you see them both stand, Raw or SmackDown?
SmackDown.
If they don't split them up in the draft.
Probably SmackDown.
Yeah, I'd probably say so too. That's if they don't split them up in the draft.
Yeah.
Scarlett. I think we know where Scarlett. Now, like I said, at least 6 call-ups to this mock draft. Scarlett, Frankie Monet's one of them, and another one of them is Scarlett. I'd have her on Raw with Karrion Kross.
I agree. I've been on Raw with Karrion Kross.
Yeah. So Scarlett right to Monday Night Raw. And give Karrion Kross back Scarlett too, by the way. Karrion Kross is nothing without her.
Yep.
Mace. Would not even draft him.
I like Mace. I just don't like the fact that he's coming on this fucking retribution gimmick bullshit. But I like Mace.
And as you can see with Mace and T-Bar tag team, I have them as separate individuals because I feel like they're just like, that's not a tag team in my opinion. Mace and T-Bar. T-Bar should just go back as Dominic Dijakovic by himself.
I would keep Mace and T-Bar together, but I would just make T-Bar Dominic Dijakovic. But I would keep them together. You do need tag teams, so I would keep them together. And I'd keep them on Raw. Fuck it.
Fuck it. All right, so Mace to Monday Night Raw. Waste of a pick, but Mace to Raw. King Nakamura, Intercontinental Champion with Rick Boogs. I think SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Absolutely no questions asked. King Nakamura right to SmackDown. Tegan Nox.
SmackDown with Shotzi.
Yeah. Say so too. Nikki Cross with Rhea Ripley.
Raw. Keep them on Raw.
Yeah, and the women's tag team titles are mostly known to be on Raw, so Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley, I think they're staying right on Raw. Shayna Baszler. She needs a change of scenery.
I'll move Shayna to SmackDown.
Yeah. Ever since she got called up from NXT to the main roster, she's been on Raw for like almost 2 years. Time for a change of scenery. So Shayna, right to SmackDown. And I know Ronda just had the kid with Travis Brown right now. I don't know what Ronda's status is with wrestling right now. But I mean, if Ronda ever does come back, imagine a SmackDown program between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
But that's just me, though. I doubt it will happen, but only one can dream. Natalia.
I would split up Natalia and Tamina and put Natalia on Raw.
Really? Tamina? She should go to unemployment line.
I agree with you. I would split them up. I would put Natalia on Raw, though.
All right. So Natalia, right to Monday Night Raw. Natalia and Tamina, the tag team. Who really gives a shit about that tag team? They're losers. Elias. What even?
I would put Elias on SmackDown. I want to see where they go with Elias and this new character change. They teased it a couple months ago, and we haven't seen him since. So I don't know what's going on with them, but I would like to see the follow-up with the character change, what the character looks like. I would move Elias to SmackDown.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know, because Raw is character-driven, so I don't know. I really don't know. But I don't know. I mean, where does he fit better, Raw or SmackDown? I mean, SmackDown should be wrestling heavy. Raw is more character-driven. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the right move is. This is tough, man. Really tough. We'll put him on SmackDown for now, and we'll reshuffle names as we go through all these names. So I don't know. I mean, Elias on SmackDown, okay, but will he be news? Probably not. Cesaro.
I'll move Cesaro to Raw.
Yeah, I could see that. And why not reunite the Bar on Raw?
That's what I would do. I like that idea.
You know, I mean, I like Cesaro and Sheamus both. Sheamus is probably the MVP of Raw this year, in my opinion. He's been great. A loser, but he's been great. The Bar, they're better together than they are separate. Both go nowheres on their own, especially Cesaro. So why not reunite the Bar and Raw? And they could use tag teams over there. And the Bar was great. The Bar was awesome. their feud with the Hardys on Raw in 2017, and then they were SmackDown Tag Team Champs. Their feud on SmackDown late 2018 with the New Day and the Usos was great. So Cesaro to Raw, I could picture that. So Cesaro right over to Raw. Jackson Riker, Raw.
Can we just skip Jackson Riker, please?
Jackson Riker, where would this guy go? He'd go right to unemployment.
Yes, right to unemployment.
I mean, Jackson Riker to Raw, will he be used? No, he'll be sitting and catering. Ali and Mansoor.
I'll move him to SmackDown.
Yeah. I would definitely move him to SmackDown too. I could see that, actually. I could see that. Ali and Mansoor to SmackDown. And Ali and Mansoor and Usos could be nice. The Hurt Business, Lashley MVP, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin MVP, and Bobby Lashley. They just reunited the Hurt Business this past Monday on Raw, which was good. They should have never broke them up to begin with.
Raw. I would keep them on Raw. I think Roman Reigns
move to SmackDown in the draft. Do you think he does move, or does he stay on Raw?
No, I would keep them on Raw. I think Lashley and Reigns need to be separate from each other.
All right. Even with Lesnar possibly on SmackDown and Lesnar and Lashley like possible money match.
You can always move Lesnar to Raw. Later. Like, he's part-time anyway. So they probably won't even matter. You can always move Lesnar to Raw.
Asuka, I think SmackDown.
I'd keep Asuka on Raw.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, she hasn't really done anything on Raw as of late. She was the Raw Women's Champ for almost a year and stuff.
Well, she hasn't done anything as of late because she's been injured.
I don't know. I mean, with Charlotte as Raw Women's Champion, do you do Charlotte and Asuka again for the millionth time?
I wouldn't, but I keep Asuka on Raw.
Stays on Raw. What else do you do with her? I mean, I don't know what else you do with her. I mean, I don't know. This is really tough, man. Really, really tough. Not easy. So I mean, Raw. You have Dana Brooke. I mean, let's see what Raw who's got. Let's see who Raw has. Dana, Bailey, Nia. You got Mia, Sonya, and you got Alexa and Lacey, Scarlett. 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, you counting Natalia, Rhea, and Nikki. That's 11 women. SmackDown has Sasha, Frankie, Naomi, Shotzi. 4, 5, 6. 6 women, including Tegan and Shayna and Shotzi. I don't know.
Hey man. I forgot we did Nikki and Rhea. You know what I would do with Nikki and Rhea? Actually, move them to SmackDown. I would move them to SmackDown because one of the drive moves I would make is I would swap Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair for each other.
Really? I don't know. Okay. So you said Asuka Raw?
Yeah.
Asuka right over to Raw. So it's total of 12 women so far. We'll reshuffle names to when we go through the names. Well, when we go through all these names, we'll reshuffle as we go. When we get through all these names. Akira Tozawa, Raw.
I really don't give a shit.
Oh, what? Akira Tozawa?
Yeah, I really don't give a shit. Put him on Raw for all I care. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, they've really him and the 24/7 title shit. It's a shame because he's actually very talented and he's relegated to 24/7 title bullshit and it's a shame.
Yeah.
So Tozawa to Raw. Garza and Humberto. I'm liking the pairing as of late since they teamed together very recently, and I'm liking the pairing. They remind me a little bit of a Los Guerreros.
I see that. Put them. I keep them on the Raw.
Yeah, and if you're building them, they've been building them up on Raw as of late, it makes no sense to have them be built them on Raw the past couple weeks, then move them to SmackDown. It makes no sense. So they may very well be still on Raw with the draft. So them staying on Raw, that may very well be so. Garza Humberto right to they're staying on Monday Night Raw. Keith Lee, Monday Night Raw. Because Mia Yim is over there. And then we'll get to the next names here, from New Day to Jinder and all. Jinder should not even be drafted. So we'll move these names here. New Day, Kofi and Woods.
I keep him on Raw with Big E.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Kofi and Woods stay on Raw. Piper Niven. Where's she going?
I keep her on Raw. I'd actually move Piper Niven to SmackDown.
Yeah. Would you have her in the same brand as Eva? I hope not.
No. See, in this
story with Eva when she got her arm broken by Shayna this past Monday on Raw. I hope Eva stays on Raw.
I hope Eva gets drafted to unemployment.
Yeah. Another one who should be drafted to unemployment. Omos. He's a waste.
Well, to me, I don't really think that's fair. He's bad, true, but he's also very young. He's bad, true, but he's also very young. He's bad, but he's very young, very green, and that's not his fault. He got put on television way too early. But with Omos, if he gets better, I think there could be something there. But I would move Omos to Smack. I'll move Omos to Raw.
Yeah, Raw's the land of the Giants usually, so Omos on Raw I could see. So Omos right to Raw. Charlotte Flair, Monday Night Raw. Should not even be in the draft.
Yeah, she really shouldn't be. Keep her on Raw.
Then we get to the Bianca Belair stuff. Street Profits are on Monday Night Raw. So Bianca to Raw because the Street Profits are over there. Karrion Kross. This is a no-brainer. Monday Night Raw. And build him up on Raw.
Yeah.
And give him Scarlett back on Raw.
Yep.
Enough burying him on Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah, enough of that shit.
Yeah. John Morrison.
SmackDown.
Where do we put the Miz? Oh, the Miz on Raw. John Morrison, yes, SmackDown. Definitely SmackDown for John Morrison because Frankie Monet over there. So Morrison, right to SmackDown. Sheamus, Raw. Sheamus,
yeah.
I doubt he moves.
Go to keep Sheamus on Raw.
And Reunite the Bar on Raw. T-Bar.
Where do we put Mace?
Beside Jakovic.
I would too.
I don't know. I mean, do you split up Mace and T-Bar or do you put them on the same show?
I would keep Mace and T-Bar together as a tag team.
T-Bar to Raw. Tony Storm, I keep on SmackDown, in my opinion.
I would too.
So Tony Storm right to SmackDown. Tony Storm stays on SmackDown. Jeff Hardy, ever since moving to Raw in the draft last October, he's done nothing on Raw. Jeff Hardy is another one who really needs to move to SmackDown bad.
Move Jeff Hardy to SmackDown and do Jeff Hardy versus Roman Reigns. I'm telling you right now, people still like Jeff. I'm telling you right now, people still like Jeff Hardy. A Jeff Hardy versus Roman Reigns feud would just be money. That would just be money. Jeff won the title, obviously, but people badly want to see Jeff Hardy win that Universal title. And when he doesn't do it, Roman Reigns would be that much more hated. So I keep Roman Reigns. So I move Jeff Hardy to SmackDown and build to Jeff Hardy and Roman Reigns.
And Jeff is so beloved, man, because Jeff is so beloved, you put him in the ring with Roman, Roman's an automatic heel by default. That's how beloved Jeff Hardy is.
Yeah.
And not only that, Jeff and Roman tells itself. Remember when Goldberg was supposed to fight Roman for that Universal title at WrestleMania 36 in that empty gymnasium at the Performance Center? Then Roman pulled out because of COVID-19 with the pandemic. and Roman's original replacement was supposed to be Jeff Hardy, and he was going to beat Goldberg, and he was going to be the Universal Champion. So Jeff and Roman's the story tells itself.
Oh yeah, of course. The Jeff and Roman, the story tells itself, and I want to get on Bianca Belair here because I said I had an idea, a picture of Bianca Belair why I would move her. Here's why I would move Bianca Belair and keep putting her on Raw. Bianca, I don't think she's getting the championship back from Becky anytime soon. No. I don't think she's getting the championship back from Becky anytime soon. So I would move Bianca to Raw, and I would keep. Now, people here, you got to listen to me. You got to listen to me and just stay with me here. I know people don't like this woman. I know people don't like this woman, but you got to stay with me here. Okay, just stay with me. Keep the Raw Women's Championship on Charlotte Flair, and you build to a big WrestleMania match next year for the Raw Women's Championship between Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. And Bianca wins the championship at WrestleMania. That's what I would do. That would be the match I built to at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, would Charlotte put her over? Probably not, but I don't know. But Charlotte and Bianca may not be a bad idea. And Raw Women's Division needs all the help they can get, honestly. But back to the Jeff Hardy stuff. And also speaking with Jeff Hardy, look at the bar fight. Like, look at Jeff on SmackDown and look at the comparisons. Look at Jeff on SmackDown and Jeff on Raw. Remember when Jeff Hardy and Sheamus had that bar fight on SmackDown last summer, which was great?
Yeah.
And then Jeff Hardy, he moves to Raw last October. He feuds with Jackson Ryker and Elias. It's like, look at Jeff on Raw and Jeff on SmackDown. It's like night and day. Literally night and day. Jeff has done nothing on Raw ever since moving to Raw last October in the draft last year. And he was chasing the 24/7 title a few weeks ago. It's like, Jeff deserves so much better than that. So Jeff Hardy, I moved to SmackDown, honestly. That needs to happen. Jeff and Roman's money. And I think Jeff Hardy did a Q&A it's on YouTube. I think he did some Q&A on a YouTube video. I think it was 4 years ago, the year he returned in 2017 with his brother, Matt. Jeff, I think one of the questions in the Q&A that Jeff was asked about is which guys he would like to face, new guys he'd like to face. I think one of them he said was Roman.
Yeah.
So Jeff Hardy, it's like, give the man Jeff Hardy what he wants. If he wants Roman, give Jeff what he wants. And Jeff and Roman could be really good television. And Jeff and Roman, I don't think they've done that match before either, so it's something different.
Yeah. I
know Jeff is not going to beat Roman, but it'd be nice. It'd be a good. I think it'd be good television the two in a feud and a good match. Jeff is nearing 45, but he can still go in the ring.
Oh yeah.
But Jeff Hardy to SmackDown is a must. Damien Priest, Nakamura is on SmackDown, IC title. Damien Priest, I don't think he moves. I think he's staying on Raw. So Damien Priest, staying on Raw. Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad Gable. I think SmackDown.
Yeah,
I think did they tease them feuding with Usos right during Extreme Rules last Sunday? Didn't they tease that a little bit?
Yeah, yeah.
So if they're doing that, it makes sense for the Alpha Academy to stay right on SmackDown. And Alpha Academy and Usos could be nice in the future over those SmackDown tag titles.
Switch Titus O'Neil. He's not on television. Switch him. Just skip him.
Yeah, he's the king of catering. Titus O'Neil. He shouldn't this is a waste. Has he even wrestled at all this year?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So Titus O'Neil, that's like a waste. Would not even draft him. All right, so let's see here. The other names. Carmella. I think Raw because her boyfriend Corey Graves is over there.
Yeah, I'll move Carmella to Raw.
AJ Styles, I think SmackDown.
Move him to SmackDown.
Needs to move to SmackDown bad. AJ Roman, SmackDown program, Universal title. I'm all for that.
I am too.
And they feuded 5 years ago over the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules and Payback in 2016, which were very, very underrated matches. Those are some very, very good matches. Roman and AJ have very good in-ring chemistry.
Yeah.
And AJ Styles and Omos should be separated. Omos should stay on Raw. AJ to SmackDown, turn him babyface. I think AJ would be much better off on SmackDown. I know AJ Styles with his kids. I know his kids play sports on Fridays, but I still think he could move to SmackDown, no problem. But yeah. So AJ Styles SmackDown. Aaliyah.
SmackDown.
Really? Over Raw?
I don't care where she goes. To me, I don't care where she goes. To me, she ain't. I don't care where she goes. To be honest with you, she's not going anywhere. She's not. Aaliyah, she's not going anywhere. She's not. So to me, it doesn't matter. She ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, she's not bad in the ring, but I would agree. LA Knight, Raw.
Put them on Raw. Raw needs somebody like LA Knight.
Yeah. And I know he's fighting Odyssey Jones on NXT this Tuesday, but I think that is his last match in NXT.
On the job, on his way out. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Put him on Raw.
Putting over Odyssey Jones big before moving over to Raw, I could see that. Rude and Ziggler.
I don't care where they go either. You know, put them on. Keep them on SmackDown. I don't really care where they go.
Yeah, I agree. Shane Thorne.
I don't care where he goes.
It's a new gimmick, but it's character driven, and Raw's character driven. Do you put him on Raw or keep him on SmackDown?
I'll just keep him on SmackDown.
Interesting. I mean, will he be used? Probably not. Happy Corbin. He's done everything on SmackDown.
I always do keep Corbin on SmackDown.
All right. Okay. Happy Corbin on SmackDown. Okay. Riddick Moss, I think SmackDown. Dakota Kai.
Raw.
Raw. Okay. Another NXT call up, Dakota Kai. She hasn't been seen on NXT since TakeOver 36 as well. Tamina, unemployment. Tamina should go right to the unemployment line. But Tamina SmackDown, but will she be used? No. But she should be right on unemployment. Is Tamina. RK Bro, Raw.
Yeah, keep him on Raw.
Shouldn't even be draftable. Randy Orton and Matt Riddle of RK Bro. They're staying on Raw. Austin Theory. Now, this is an interesting one. I don't know. I'd have him on SmackDown. I'd have him with Seth. So Austin Theory to SmackDown. Finn Balor.
I'll move Finn Balor to Raw.
Finn Balor to Raw. Interesting. I don't know. Do they continue to feud with him and Roman on SmackDown after what happened at Extreme Rules, or do you move him to Monday Night Raw? I'm not sure. I don't know. But Kevin Owens. I could see him going to Raw.
I will move Kevin Owens to Raw. Turn Kevin Owens heel and do Kevin Owens and Big E.
Yeah.
I think that is the best thing for him. Kevin Owens has done everything there is to do on SmackDown. This guy needs just a change badly. And I think a heel turn, and I think him going back to being a heel was the right move for him. Kevin Owens, he's a fine babyface. I understand people like Kevin Owens. I understand he's very popular as a babyface, and people like Kevin Owens. People like Kevin Owens. It's not like he's going out there and he's getting booed each week. No, he goes out there, he gets a pretty good reaction. But I would move Kevin Owens to Raw. Put Kevin Owens on Raw, turn Kevin Owens heel, and do Kevin Owens and Big E for that WWE Championship. I think that is a feud you can go down. I think that is a feud they need to visit. I think that is a feud they need to visit. And hell, if Kevin Owens stays in WWE, give him a run with hell. If Kevin Owens stays in WWE, have Kevin Owens be the one to beat Big E for the WWE title. Have Kevin Owens be the one to beat Big E for the WWE title. Give Kevin Owens a run. But Kevin Owens needs a change of scenery badly. And I would move Kevin Owens over to Raw. Like immediately. That's one of the moves I would make.
Yeah. Kevin Owens to Raw, I could see honestly. Seth Rollins, I think he stays on SmackDown.
He stays on SmackDown. Becky ain't leaving. Rollins ain't leaving.
And Seth and Becky are married. Becky Lynch is the SmackDown Women's Champion. Her going to Raw makes no sense unless she drops the title tomorrow on SmackDown, which I doubt, or maybe it happens. I don't know, but we'll see. But Seth Rollins, I think he stays right on SmackDown. Same thing with Liv Morgan here.
I would get Liv Morgan on SmackDown too. Yeah.
Very underrated as Liv Morgan, by the way, and I'd much rather her be SmackDown than Raw.
Yeah.
Ricochet.
I would move Ricochet to SmackDown.
He's been on Ricochet. He's a guy that's been on Raw since right after Mania 35 in 2019. This guy what has he done on Raw? What has he done? Nothing. I mean, he lost to Brock Lesnar at Super Showdown 2020, right before the pandemic. He lost to Brock Lesnar in seconds clean, squashed by Brock Lesnar. He was a U.S. champ on Raw in the summer of 2019, but only held it for a month, lost it to AJ Styles at Extreme Rules in 2019, lost the U.S. title. And ever since the loss to Lesnar at Super Showdown 2020, Ricochet on Raw has really gone just downhill. Like, he's just another guy on the Raw roster, and he's on main event, losing to Karrion Kross. He's just feels so directionless on Monday Night Raw, and I feel like a move to SmackDown, a new change of scenery is needed for him bad, more than anybody. He really needs a move to SmackDown. If there's anybody that needs a move to SmackDown, it's Ricochet.
Yeah.
So, and new fresh opponents for Ricochet on SmackDown too. So why not? I'd move Ricochet to SmackDown. I think is the right move to make. Zelina Vega.
Raw.
Yeah, I'd say Raw. Eve Marie, unemployment. She's staying on Raw. Will she be used? No. Becky Lynch, SmackDown. Because she's the SmackDown Women's Champion. Edge. Where does he go? Do you keep him on SmackDown or do you move him to Raw? I mean, after Roman and after Seth, there's nothing left for Edge to do on SmackDown. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I'll keep Edge on SmackDown.
Interesting. I mean, he's advertised for SmackDown tomorrow, so I guess Edge. So I guess Edge stays.
Although with Edge, I don't really think it matters where Edge goes because I consider Edge to be a part timer. You're not going to draft a part timer, and you're not going to draft a part timer in the draft. Same thing with like Cena, Brock, and Goldberg. Like, you're not going to draft them. You're not going to draft them. You're going to have an idea for a feud for them. You're going to do the feud, and then you're going to put them wherever you best see fit. I don't think the draft should really apply to part timers. So Edge, I keep Edge. So Edge, keep Edge. So Edge, I wouldn't even draft Edge because I don't think it matters. You can go to Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, Metalik and Dorado. I think Raw, but I think they may get released soon. So Metalik, Dorado, right to Monday Night Raw. I don't see them going anywheres, honestly, which is sad. So Metalik and Dorado, I think they're staying right on Monday Night Raw. Sadly. Brock Lesnar, Raw.
Get Brock Lesnar.
What happened? What happened?
Nothing. Brock, again, same thing as Edge. It doesn't really matter where you draft Brock. He's staying on SmackDown right now, obviously, because they're doing the
Yeah. I mean, Lesnar is a part-timer, so Brock, I guess you could say Raw. So Brock Lesnar right to Raw. Reginald Raw. Reginald Monday Night Raw. This is a waste of a draft pick. Reginald. Same thing with Jinder, Veer, and Shanky. This is a waste of a draft pick. But they're going right to Raw. Jinder have right at unemployment.
Yep.
So Reggie Raw, who gives a shit? Jinder, Veer, Shanky Raw, but be sitting in catering. And this is the rosters for the mock draft. So we're looking over here. Looking at the Raw side. I don't know. SmackDown. I mean, there's some. But Raw, I mean, you have Dana Brooke. You got Nia. You got what else you got? You got Lacey Evans. You got Mace, Natalia, Riker, Tozawa. I don't know, Omos. I mean, Raw for the women, you got Dana, you got Bailey, you got Nia, you got Mia, Sonya, Alexa, Lacey, Scarlett. It's 8. They can cross Rhea Ripley, Natalia. You got Asuka. It's 12. You got Charlotte. That's 13. 14, you got Bianca. You got 15 and Carmella, 16 and Dakota Kai, 17 and Zelina Vega, 18. Even Ray, don't count her. So it's about at least 15 there. At least 16 there in all. SmackDown for their women, they got Sasha, Frankie Monet, they got Naomi, they got Shotzi, that's 4. They got 6, Tegan Nox, Shayna Baszler, 7 and Piper Niven, 8 and Toni Storm. They got 9 and Aaliyah, 10 Tamina. You got 12 and Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch and all. So you got them. You got tag teams. You got the Profits. You got what else you got in here? The Hurt Business. You could do Cedric and Shelton in the Raw tag team division. You could do them in there. Garza and Humberto. New Day, Kofi and Woods. It's 4 tag teams. 5 if you want to reunite the Bar. You got 6 in RK Bro. There's like 6 tag teams on Raw, not enough for a division on Raw, or tag division on Raw. SmackDown's tag teams, you got the Usos, which I like on SmackDown, the Usos. You got the War Raiders, which is nice. You got the Mysterios. You got Ali and Mansoor. It's 4. Alpha Academy, Otis Chad Gable. Rudin Ziggler. That's 6 tag teams. Corbin and Riddick Moss. I don't know if you put them as a tag team, but 6 tag teams on Raw, 6 tag teams on SmackDown, and at least 16 women on Raw, 12 women on SmackDown. You got the main of, Biggie and Keith Lee you could do in the main event on Raw. Same thing with Kevin Owens. You got Cruz and Priest in the mid card on Monday Night Raw. Karrion Kross build them up. Looking at Raw's roster with this mock draft. I don't know. What do you think? Like, I think it looks weak a little bit.
I would agree, but I think Raw made the necessary changes.
Yeah, Raw needs to hope they can get, at least they got LA Knight.
Yeah.
They got LA Knight. They have Bailey as well. Kevin Owens on Raw. SmackDown, I mean, you do have the War Raiders. You have Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, Jeff Hardy. You have what else you got there? You got Morrison, John Morrison over there. You know, so I don't know. Which roster do you think is better?
SmackDown.
I would agree. I mean, you got Drew and Roman. You could do them in a main event for the later part of this year. Sasha's there. Becky's there. You got Tony Storm, Piper Niven. You could do a Tony Storm and Piper Niven feud on SmackDown.
Yeah.
You got Shotzi and Tegan. You got Frankie Monet. You got John Morrison over there. You have Naomi as well. You got Liv Morgan. Austin Theory as well. Seth Rollins. You got Aaliyah, who's not bad in the ring. You got Alpha Academy. Ali Mansour, that's not a bad addition. And all. So I would agree. Reviewing the names, reviewing these names here, I think with this mock draft, I think SmackDown is the better roster at this mock draft, in my honest opinion. Raw looks pretty weak with the roster they got, but that's that's those are names we were given here with this mock draft. Would you honestly believe if there were more, I wouldn't say a little bit more NXT call-ups, would this look vastly different? Hello? Uh-oh. Cameron, I don't know what happened to his mic. I don't know what happened to him, but
Sorry, Nick. I was using the bathroom. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you.
yeah. I mean, do you think, honestly, like, if there was at least a few more NXT call-up names or some names from NXT UK, if they were some of them, a few of them were involved in this mock draft, would the rosters look vastly different?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know if include Jordan Devlin, I don't know, but, or Walter, I don't know, but anyways, but, or like Io Shirai, Xia Li, but I don't know, Gargano, something like that, but yeah, or names like them, or names like Ginny or something like that, but yeah, I would say that and agree with that. But I think, but at the end of the day, I do think SmackDown is the better roster with this mock draft than Raw is. You just look at Raw's names, it doesn't look that. It just looks weak. The Raw roster with this mock draft, in my opinion. I think SmackDown's the better roster with this mock draft and all the end of the very day. And so these are rosters with this mock draft, and I don't know what you guys think of it, but this is the rosters with this 2021 WWE mock draft for the Raw roster and the SmackDown roster. So I don't know what you guys think of it, but so the names and all, we drafted names, drafted some tag teams, some women, some men, and some names in this mock draft and all. And again, love to know your guys' opinions on the names with this mock draft, the people we drafted in this mock draft. But Cameron and I, we mock drafted, we drafted names, and we had vision. We thought of like who to move and such, and we had this vision, and we just simply drafted. We simply mock drafted, and these are the rosters we got. I think SmackDown again has the better roster. and Raw with this. I think SmackDown has a better roster than Raw with this mock draft. But like to go. No, you're not. But I'd like to know your guys' thoughts on that. And that is that with the mock draft. We'll go right back to regular picture screen. And we are back to regular picture screen. And that is that for the 2021 WWE mock draft, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you liked the video and my take and Cameron's take on the names we drafted. Don't know. Curious to find out what you think of the mock draft rosters and such. Love to know your opinions on it. And again, Cameron and I just mock drafted, and we drafted names with the names we were given, did our best, and simply mock drafted at the end of the very day, folks. Mock drafted at the end of the very day, ladies and gentlemen. And that is that for the mock draft video for the 2021 WWE mock draft right here on the Furious Nation channel, right here on YouTube.com. I thought we did a decent job here, Cameron, in my opinion, and then some. But and I know Adam wasn't. He was supposed to be here for this mock draft video, but I know he's watching, and yeah, and I mean, I wish Adam Carl was here, but I know he's still watching. And I know he enjoyed this video regardless. But that is that. Make sure to hit the like on the video. Make sure to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button for Furious Nation. Subscribe to Furious Nation YouTube channel. Hit the bell for all notifications as well. If you've not done so already, it'd be greatly appreciated. Cameron, where can we follow you on the Twitter sticks as far as that goes, and the social media and the Cine podcast such?
Follow me on Twitter at Cam71101. Make sure you follow the Cine. Make sure you listen to the Cine podcast, available on all platforms. Also, make sure you check out the Big Fight Field channel every Friday. It's me, Joseph Conlon, and Wesley Williams review AEW Rampage. And yeah, that does it.
Speaking of
Nick,
Rampage, I heard Bryan Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan, is wrestling on Rampage this Friday against an Elite member. Not going to spoil it, but
it's Nick Jackson. But it's Nick Jackson. But I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for that. That is going to be fun. But Nick, I gotta go, man. I appreciate you having me on the channel, man, and I appreciate you having me on the channel again. And I'll see you later.
Wait, before you go. And follow me on Twitter at FioriNick579. Follow me on Instagram at Nicholas Fiore 2014, and follow me on Facebook at Nicholas Fiore 31. You can add me as a friend on Facebook if you like, but just be warned, you can follow me on Twitter, right? But there's a difference between opinion and stupidity, so don't come into my Twitter feed with blatant stupidity, or you get muted or you get the block button. So just to warn you on that, but follow me on Twitter at FioriNick579. Follow me on Instagram, Nicholas Fiore 2014, and Facebook, Nicholas Fiore 31. I'm Nick Fiore. This is Cameron Johnson. We're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the mock draft video right here on Furious Nation channel, right here on YouTube.com. Thank you guys so much for joining. And I will see you next time. We're here in the channel for more good videos and all and content right here on Furious Nation on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining Cameron and I, and we will see you guys later. Thank you.
Peace.